everyone to the joint meeting for the Rules and Open Government Committee and Committee of the Whole. And Tony, can we have a roll call, please? Did we lose you, Tony?
Sorry. Arenas?
Here.
I have an external microphone in it, though it was loose.
No worries.
Cohen?
Here.
Davis? Perales?
Here.
Jones?
Present.
And Davis's name is on the list, but she's not showing a microphone, so I'm going to text her.
Okay. So we are going to start out with the agenda for Tuesday, October 19th. And we are starting on pages 4 and 5. Six and 7. Eight and 9. 10 and 11. 12 and 13. And that is it. And there's not an ad sheet. So I'm going to go to the public. And I see Blair. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Blair Beekman here. Happy Wednesday, I guess it is. Today is Wednesday. There are a few items on the agenda that I wanted to talk about. One is the fencing issue. I'm going to sound really stupid in talking about it and how you guys are talking about it a lot. It's just my feeling that I think people are going to respect it to a certain degree. You guys are considering how to make sure that cars don't go back in there and bulldoze their way back in there, it sounds like. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think there'll be an issue of people walking in and trying to hop the fence to get back in. But I don't think people are going to be bulldozing their cars or sneak in with their cars. I don't know how this works with your logistics issues, but just a rule of thumb on my end, how I feel people act and work, with some decorum about the situation. And I guess use that information as you can. There was a few other items in there about on the agenda. I guess you're talking about the Almaden issues again. Good luck. You can always change building heights if you have to. Don't feel you don't have to. Don't feel you have to be too macho to not do that. And thank you for a proclamation of Indigenous Peoples Day. This is a concept that we're actually, in the city charter, we're actually considering Ohlone issues, land trust issues that can talk about ideas of equity. And I'm interested how ideas of language and customs of Ohlone things can work its way into the city charter this upcoming time, and we can visibly and palpably see it and understand it. Thank you.
Thank you. Robin?
Hi, good afternoon. Real quick, I wanted to suggest a topic for the agenda that's not on there that has to do with VTA. As you're, I think all are aware, VTA currently has a call for highway projects for the Measure B funding, and staff.
Robin, sorry for interrupting. If
yes,
this topic not on the agenda, you can wait till open forum and speak to it.
I wanted to suggest it for the agenda, but okay,
That would be the appropriate time to do that.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, bringing it back to the committee.
Move approval.
Second.
Awesome. Got a motion and a second. Tony,
Arenas,
Yes.
Cohen,
Aye.
Davis,
Yes.
Morales,
Yes.
Jones.
aye.
Thank you.
Okay, on to the public record. And I'm gonna go to the public and Blair, go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for the housing item yesterday. The housing items. It helped explain a lot for myself. I was a bit too strong in some of my suggestions. It is a laid back approach. It is, really working on a really good stuff that we already know how to do. And that is how we can develop and see what next steps can be. Good luck how you will be doing that, and thanks. About the issues, there were a lot of Vista Montana letters. I thought it was an amazing good letter from from now City Manager Rosalind Huey. She went into some really nice explanations about how to address issues. I hope there's an upcoming process of just good dialogue, and I wrote a few words about that. I hope we can consider the notification process in the future and its ideas of trust, more honest debate, organization, and cooperation in the future placement of local government-sponsored homeless encampments in the future. I hope to better develop the notification process as this can be a good way both everyday community and local SJ government can work together to address the issues of Vista Montana. Yeah, I think the notification process to simply talk about those concepts for our future can be an interesting starting point for people, how to talk about Vista Montana issues. And, I worry about the arsenic issue a lot. I know there's certain plants that you can plant there and that will leach out and suck out the poisonous soil. It's some sort of fennel of the fennel family, I think. I'm not positive, but those type of measures sound like they're really needed here. And, good luck in your decision making. I hope people who are there can mellow out. The situation can mellow out overall, and good luck how we can all work on this together. Thank you.
Thank you. Bringing it back to the committee. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion and note and file.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Tony,
Arenas,
Yes.
Cohen,
Aye.
Davis,
Yes. Sorry.
Morales,
Yes.
Jones.
aye.
Thank you.
Okay, on to the consent calendar. I gotta go to the public first. Blair?
Before we go to the public, this is Tony Tabor, City Clerk. I wanted to note that it says to place on the October 12th City Council agenda. We do not have a meeting on October 12th, so it will be placed on the agenda for October 19th.
Thank you, Tony. Okay. To the public, Blair?
Hi, Blair Beekman here. To clarify my last words from a previous comment that I hope, all sides can work to mellow out. There seems to be a few issues going on, with both sides that are all sides is I guess the way to frame life. In all sides of the issues of this life, I hope people can mellow out and on all sides, from all sides. And yeah, I think we can really work on it. I'm interested to see what can develop and to again thank Rosalind Huey, who's made her own really good attempts to describe how city government can, offer a trust and a good role.
Hey, Blair?
So good luck. Oh, sorry, you're right. I do need to come back to the dumpster day issues.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, and this totally connects to the ideas of cooperation. And thank you. I'm back on track now. To discuss the wonders of dumpster day issues is the ideas of cooperation, neighborhood cooperation. People learning to work together in their neighborhood, as there are different parts of a neighborhood, it's got all different parts. The dumpster days is a way that we can come together on that sort of issue. And as was mentioned yesterday, people were a bit concerned about, bringing in new homeless encampments or government-sponsored encampments to their local neighborhoods. This is a time I think we can consider local neighborhoods, can they handle a government-sponsored homeless encampment in their neighborhood? And it is a responsibility of each neighborhood to consider how they can answer questions of good practices that we're trying to all develop at this time. Good luck how to work on those issues and ask and answer those sort of questions. Thanks.
Thank you. Bringing it back to the committee. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Tony?
Arenas,
Yes.
Cohen,
Aye.
Davis,
Yes.
Peralez,
Yes.
Jones.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, on to the monthly report of activities for September 2021. The city auditor, Joe.
Good afternoon, Joe Rice, City Auditor. I'm here with my monthly report of activities for our office firms for September 2021. During September, we issued 2 reports, our Code Enforcement Management Controls audit, which you heard yesterday at Council, and our status of open audit recommendations as of June 30th, 2021. As you see in the attachment, we have many projects underway. I ask that you accept the report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you, Joe. I'm going to go to the public next. Blair?
Hi, it's a quick meeting today, and I guess I'm riding solo here. So, hi again, Blair here. There's many items on this on the monthly audit report that I think can be of a lot of interest to people. I wanted to speak about, again, clean energy issues, and again, I remind the importance of really be considering renewable ideas at this time, and to learn how to try to say it. The good practices we do now and start to do now, with renewable energy and local procurement can just be incredibly important if we do have to go through a natural disaster event. And to have these good practices ready to go and prepared now, it can help us transition back to our good practices of these things, our good ideals after an earthquake or a large natural disaster event. So we will just be ready to go with our better selves, and we won't have to be stuck in misery. And that's important things to understand. I just wanted to list off, a few items that this audit report is working on this month. It has items of, clean energy, municipal water billing, there was a couple other issues that I just found really interesting. Wage theft issues. There's wage theft issues, Bill of Rights for Children of Youth, COVID-19 recovery expenditures, our city forest, equity pledge issues. I mean, these are the kind of things that I think anybody and everybody, and what I try to do, I see these things, I can just sit here and talk all day on these items. And it's nice, interesting stuff to make for a really good meeting process that can invite everyone. And it's good stuff for everyone. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bringing it back to the committee. Questions, motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Tony?
Arenas,
Yes.
Cohen,
Aye.
Davis,
Yes.
Peralez,
Yes.
Jones.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is update to the August 2021 to June 2022 Neighborhood Services and Education Committee Work Plan.
Motion to
And-
approve.
All right. I have a
Second.
motion and a second, and I'm gonna go to the public. And Blair, go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, it's open and inclusive stuff that the auditor's reports are about, inclusive for everyone. Good luck with that. I wanted to quickly offer, with all our housing issues we're working on so much at this time, I really need to start asking about the idea of local government sponsored encampments and how that idea, I mean, I'm excited to talk about those things. This is a time we can actually really get those things going. And it's interesting. We're at an interesting place right now. Good luck we can develop these things, and in not being afraid to talk to local community and neighborhoods and getting their feeling about it. I think we're in a different place than we were a year or two ago about NIMBY issues. So good luck how we can do this, and just thanks for all the efforts so we can be able to talk about these things. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second. Tony?
Arenas,
Yes.
Cohen,
Aye.
Davis,
Yes.
Peralez,
Yes.
Jones.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, on to open forum. Robin, go ahead. Now's your opportunity.
Hi, thank you. And I apologize for the background noise. Picking up my kids from school. The point I wanted to make was that city staff is submitting a list to VTA about which highway projects are the most important for the city of San Jose. And I just feel that that would warrant a council discussion. With all due respect, I think that's a political decision on what's most important. And staff hasn't been in the past most successful in making really that decision. So I just wanted to submit that to your consideration for a future council agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Blair.
Hi, Blair here. I think I found a new way to ask and offer the ideas that can local government learn to more openly better explain this fall what can be the good science in taking a vaccine, and to learn how to better educate what can be personal good choices in different types of vaccines available this fall. Thanks for the meeting. I hope that we're learning good, open, positive democracy practices. We can continue those good efforts. It can really much help with the important AI issues we'll be going through this fall. Yeah, not just for that, but yeah, just to practice the ideas of heart and care. And finally, a big one here, like with the Reed Hillview Airport issue, the future of Reimagine and community safety, the tree canopy issue, city government projects, the bonds issues of yesterday, housing issues of yesterday. These all may take a few more years to develop. I simply feel we need to learn how to more openly talk about and plan for the possibility of a large Bay Area earthquake in the next few years. This can simply offer less confusion for people and actually work to develop overall safer, more open community preparation practices. I've been asking for months now if we need to be preparing for a large earthquake in the next few years. I feel this can make for a much less confused process. Oh, I only got 26 seconds left. I think this has helped giving yourself some clear direction in how we can proceed in the next few years. I'm trying to practice possibly very difficult subject matter in responsible, clear, and open terms. It would be the responsible thing to write and ask, if I write to San Jose City Government and Council, can I be written back if in fact we may be having a large Bay earthquake in the next few years? Thanks.
Thank you. Scott?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Scott Largent. I was just curious. I mean, I know you guys utilize Home First as far as what they said was intensive outreach services out at Spring Street. They came out and visited me the total time that I've stayed out there 3 times. The other 2 times was a bag lunch. And then the 3rd time, which was probably about right after the Apple encampment was swept, they came up and chit-chatted with myself and also Richard Scott, a well-known homeless advocate in the area. We got a bunch of phone numbers that some of them were disconnected. Other ones you didn't receive any calls back. They made a lot of promises talking about tiny homes, possibly a safe parking program. none of the stuff materialized for me, including all the people that were around me near the 7-Eleven right there on Heading. We kind of had a good spot right there, a good group of people. Some were families, seniors, the disabled, the ones that really were not the bad apples. And once it kind of got to the D-Day and past the D-Day, we had to start bringing them into Zone 3, which is just, it's not a fun place to be at. I would have hoped they just had some type of option. That's what's really weird. And I come to these meetings and I try to wave the flag. I try to talk about my own experiences. They're really not providing anything. And I did finally, I was on a waiting list with the county. I got a call back that I could go to the Picardo shelter, and they're stacking bunk beds right now during a pandemic. And the other shelter that's out at the fairgrounds right now had a massive outbreak of COVID. So those are not options. Safe parking program would work great, but there are none. And the ones that exist in Mountain View, you have to be from Mountain View. So it's kind of sad. San Jose needs one right now. Thank you.
Thank you. That's the end of public comments. This meeting is adjourned. Have a good rest of your afternoon, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Chair.